Have you ever looked at a tough situation and thought, there's no way out? That's where Israel was, surrounded by enemies, short on weapons, and low on courage. But one young man, Jonathan, believed God could act even when the odds looked impossible. This is the story of how faith, courage, and action turned the tide. Israel was in serious trouble. The Philistines had a huge army with swords, shields, and power. The Israelites? They were hiding, afraid, and only 2 swords were in the entire army. One belonged to King Saul, the other to his son Jonathan. While Saul sat under a pomegranate tree with 600 men doing nothing, Jonathan made a decision. He turned to his armor-bearer and said, "Let's go over to the Philistines' outpost. Maybe the Lord will help us." Nothing can stop the Lord from saving, whether by many or by few. Jonathan didn't have a command from God. He didn't wait for everything to be clear. He stepped out with the faith he had. And here's our first lesson. Faith doesn't always wait for certainty. Sometimes it moves forward with trust in who God is. The armor-bearer replied, "Do all that you have in mind. I'm with you, heart and soul." What a powerful reminder that faith often inspires others. Courage is contagious. Your trust in God can spark faith in the people around you. Jonathan made a plan. They would let the Philistines see them. If the enemy said, "Come up here," that would be the sign that God was giving them the victory. And that's exactly what happened. The Philistines mocked them. "Come up here, and we'll show you a thing or two." Jonathan knew that was the sign. He said to his armor-bearer, "Climb up after me. The Lord has handed them over to Israel." So they climbed, Jonathan in front, his armor-bearer behind, and when they reached the top, they fought. Just the 2 of them, with God's help, defeated about 20 Philistines. Then, God stepped in. Panic spread through the enemy camp. The earth shook literally, and the Philistines were thrown into chaos, running in fear. From a distance, Saul's men saw the confusion. The Israelites, once afraid, now joined the fight. Even those who had been hiding or had switched sides returned to stand with Israel. God brought the victory. Jonathan's story shows us that God can use just a few people to do something big when they trust Him. It also reminds us that we don't need perfect conditions to take a step of faith, just a heart that believes God can act. Another lesson here is that real faith doesn't ignore fear, but it chooses to move anyway, knowing that God is greater than any obstacle. And finally, we see that when we act in faith, we create space for God to work not only in our lives, but in the lives of others around us. So the next time you feel small, unprepared, or unsure, remember Jonathan. One bold step in the hands of a mighty God can make all the difference. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and comment.